Chris Heston may be a rookie, but he's got experience against the Mets.
He struck him out swinging.
Getting interesting. On the ground sharply into the hole, backhanded by Crawford. Got him. And we will go to the ninth.
Straight free call to the inside corner. And he is 1 out away.
Got him. And Chris Heston here in New York City has thrown a no-hitter. How about that?
I'm still not sure what just happened out there, to be honest with you. It's just awesome, man. Just to be a part of that, that's pretty sweet.
Tonight, Heston takes on the Mets again. He's been a bright spot in the Giants rotation, and tonight he looks to recapture the magic he had last month in New York. Giants, Mets, next.
Giants are back home at the corner of 3rd and King as we get ready for Giants baseball. This is game 1 of a 3-game series, Mets and Giants. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Well, the Giants, they like to forget about the 0-6 road trip, and the best way to do that is win game 1 of a 6-game homestand. And tonight they're going to hand the ball to Chris Heston, who did pretty well against the Mets the last time out.
Well, he did pretty well. He no-hit him, and I think this is a big game for a lot of reasons. Number one, you have to have a stop job. He has to give his team a chance to win. But number two, I do think it's an interesting game. The first game, you pitch against a team after you had shut them out and no-hit them the previous start. And that's what's at stake here. And the other thing, too, about a no-hitter or a milestone game, when you have a game like that, it doesn't leave your mind. You pitch it over and over and over again. Now, he's only faced these Mets one time, but in his mind, he knows them quite well. So, I think he should pitch well.
Well, he's got ownage on him, that's for sure. All right, Giants are glad to be back home, so are we. Stay tuned. We'll take you to our Comcast Sportsnet studios for an update, and we'll do that right after this.
Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Your San Francisco Giants back in the Bay in need of some home cooking after dropping 6 straight on the road. They're glad to be back. The friendly confines of AT&T Park. Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Amy Gutierrez. Chris Heston has the ball tonight. He's charged with the task of snapping this skid. He's facing the team that he no-hit last month in Game 1 of this 3-game series against the New York Mets. The Giants needed some good news today. They got it as the All-Star selections were announced. 4 of your San Francisco Giants, your favorites, all homegrown, named to the 2015 Midsummer Classic team. It's our Ford Wright choice this evening as we take a look at who made the team. Buster Posey. He won the fan vote. He's going to be starting behind the dish for the National League All-Star team. Madison Bumgarner, no-brainer, selected by the skipper. He, along with Posey, making his 3rd All-Star appearance. Brandon Crawford, well-deserved, receiving his first All-Star selection, voted in by his peers. And Joe Panik, also a manager selection, is first as in his first full season. Quite an honor. Bruce Bochy said he's so proud and happy for all of them, but had most fun telling Joe Panik he wanted it known that, yes, it is one of his guys, but very, very earned for Joe Panik. And, of course, manager Bruce Bochy will be at the helm for his 4th All-Star game in his career, 3rd as the Giants skipper. All right, game time coming up soon. We've got lineups, first pitch, Kruk and Kuip, and you're going to hear from all those All-Stars throughout the broadcast. Stay with us.
Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Your San Francisco Giants back in the Bay in need of some home cooking after dropping 6 straight on the road. They're glad to be back. The friendly confines of AT&T Park. Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Amy Gutierrez. Chris Heston has the ball tonight. He's charged with the task of snapping this skid. He's facing the team that he no-hit last month in Game 1 of this 3-game series against the New York Mets. The Giants needed some good news today. They got it as the All-Star selections were announced. 4 of your San Francisco Giants, your favorites, all homegrown, named to the 2015 Midsummer Classic team. It's our Ford Wright choice this evening as we take a look at who made the team. Buster Posey. He won the fan vote. He's going to be starting behind the dish for the National League All-Star team. Madison Bumgarner, no-brainer, selected by the skipper. He, along with Posey, making his 3rd All-Star appearance. Brandon Crawford, well-deserved, receiving his first All-Star selection, voted in by his peers. And Joe Panik, also a manager selection, is first as in his first full season. Quite an honor. Bruce Bochy said he's so proud and happy for all of them, but had most fun telling Joe Panik he wanted it known that, yes, it is one of his guys, but very, very earned for Joe Panik. And, of course, manager Bruce Bochy will be at the helm for his 4th All-Star game in his career, 3rd as the Giants skipper. All right, game time coming up soon. We've got lineups, first pitch. Kruk and Kuiper, you're going to hear from all those All-Stars throughout the broadcast. Stay with us.
Is Chris Heston takes the mound, followed by his Giants teammates. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open every day. 66 degrees here at the yard. Winds at 12 miles per hour. Humidity at 65%, and it is partly cloudy. Let's take a look at the Mets lineup. The lineup that'll be facing Chris Heston. It'll be Granderson who will lead things off. He's hot right now. Followed by Tejada and then Daniel Murphy. Wilmer Flores is the cleanup hitter. Then it's Kadire, Neuenhuis, the former Giant Johnny Monell, and then the pitcher Jonathan Neese is going to hit in the A spot, and then Juan Lagares will hit ninth.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be Chris Heston, making start number 17, having a solid first half, 8-5 with a 3.78 ERA, 80 strikeouts against 26 walks in 97 2/3 innings. And this is a special start for him. Why? Well, he's only faced the Mets one time in New York, and in that game he no-hit them. So you really can't say anybody on this Mets team has had ownage on him, but yet Heston has had ownage on them. Let's take a look at who's playing behind Chris Heston tonight. Starting the Giants outfield from left to right. You'll see Blanco, Pagan, and Maxwell. That's your outfield. Adrianza and Duffy on the left side of the infield. Arias and Belt on the right side, with Panic and Crawford having nights off. And Buster Posey will be in the squad, putting down the signs.
First pitch of the ball game is a called strike. So we get started right on time. Jesus, it's nice to be home.
Oh.
Heston working quickly, swing and a miss, another than two.
Heston, you're going to see a low 90 sinker. He will cut the fastball. He's got kind of a slurvy breaking ball, a little slider, and a changeup. And you just saw the changeup.
Overshift is on, swing and a miss, and that's how this game gets started. 26 more for Heston.
Well, 3-pitch strike 3. Fastball, changeup, changeup. And it definitely is letting the Mets know that he has established those 2 pitches in the first 3 pitches of the game. This is our Exmo, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. And that had big-time sinkage.
So here's Ruben Tejada hitting at 238 with a home run and 13 driven in. And there's a base hit to left field. And Tejada will take the wide turn as Blanco gets it in quickly. So that ends. Any thoughts at all about back-to-back no-hitters against the same team?
And I think Ruben Tejada was thinking that going down the first base line.
Well, he was. Something like take that.
Yeah. No hit this.
So here's Daniel Murphy. Murphy was not active when Heston no-hit the Mets in New York. He was on the disabled list. One ball and no strikes. And a strike. Balls and strikes is Bill Miller. Then it's Eddings, Fletcher, and Baker from first to third.
Bill Miller, a good strike zone. Very solid. I think he's a low ball umpire by nature, but he will give the belt high strike. It's a good zone to pitch to. Very consistent.
Out of play. It's 1-2.
Take a look at what Heston will throw. A lot of fastballs with a lot of sink. He likes the slider, curveball, and it depends which one's working the best as to what he'll go to. And the changeup, you're starting to see that creep up a little more. Each start, he's throwing it more and more. It's become a very good pitch, especially to lefties.
Ruben Tejada's got 1 steal. 1-2 to Daniel Murphy. Good hitter. Out of play down the left field line. Mets are coming off a weekend series against the Dodgers where they took 2 of 3, winning Friday and then they won yesterday. They have struggled on the road, however. They're 13-27 on the road. Hit on the ground to Belt. Belt, Adrianza, Heston, and Heston dropped it.
Took his eyes off the ball just for an instant as he looked back to find the bag, and it cost him. I say this about Heston. I mean, he really gets over to first base quickly. And it made it easy for Adrianza to have a target over to first base. I mean, Adrianza, he threw a strike to him. That should have been caught.
I think he went right in the sweet spot of this glove, too. Doink.
Watch it into your glove. So the Mets get another out.
So here's Wilmer Flores. Breaking ball is wide. 1 ball and no strikes.
In the grand scheme of things, the New York Mets just have had a heck of a time scoring runs. They rank right at the bottom of the National League in batting average, and they've scored 290 runs. And only one team has scored fewer than they have, and that's the Philadelphia Phillies.
But they will pitch you to death.
They will pitch you to death. Their staff ERA 3.34. And their bullpen in very stingy 2.81. So the deal with the Mets is, get on them early. Because if they get a lead on you and it gets late, it's tough to come back against their bullpen. They're very good.
And that'll end the inning on the line drive to Adrianza. Blanco, Adrianza, Duffy coming up. look at the Giants lineup. A couple of guys getting nights off. It'll be Blanco, Adrianza, and then Duffy. Buster Posey, his numbers against the Mets, very good. Pagan, Belt, and Maxwell. Arias gets the start. He's hitting 8th. And Heston 9th.
On the hill tonight for the New York Mets will be Jonathan Neese, the left-handed pitcher. He's 6'3", 218 pounders. 28 years old. He's a 6-year veteran at the big league level. This is what he's done in 15 starts, 3-8 with a 3.90 ERA. And when you take your at bat, you're going to see a 90-ish, high 80-ish sinker with the fastball. He will cut it. It's curveball, slider, changeup. But he likes to put the ball on the ground. That's when he's going good. You're seeing a lot of ground balls.
So here's Blanco, who takes a strike. Blanco at 311 with a couple of home runs, 17 driven in. Swing and a miss. Blanco's 1 for 10 lifetime against Neese.
This is the 8th start that Neese has had against the Giants lifetime. He's 1-3 with a 2.92 ERA, however. So he has pitched well against San Francisco.
Giants really had him on the ropes in New York. Remember, they had the bases loaded with nobody out in the first inning. He gave up a run, but then he went on to pitch very well the rest of the way. Got him.
A little cutter in the inside corner. You'll see a lot of those tonight. Let's take a look at that Mets defense starting in the outfield from left to right. It'll be Nieuwenhuis, Lagares, and Granderson. That's your outfield. Tejada and Murphy on the left side. Flores and Kadire on the right side. And Johnny Monell will be in the squad, putting down the signs. Take a look at a little front door cutter. Pitcher strike.
Adrianza. Is 1 for 5 since he's been called up. Caroms off the glove of Neese over to Flores, and Adrianza's retired.
That's bad luck right there.
So here's Duffy. Duffy had the night off last night in Washington. I don't think there's any doubt that we started to see a couple of these young infielders starting to tire a little bit. And a call strike. So Duffy at 292. Oh, 2. So right now Neese is just throwing strikes. That's it.
Well, he's definitely established both corners. And, you know, that's how he has to pitch. He has to be able to shave the corners of the strike zone. But Matt Duffy, one of the best two-strike hitters on this Giants team.
On the ground to third for Murphy. And that's a 9-pitch inning for Neese. After 1, 0-0. in New York. Heston strikes out Ruben Tejada looking. That's the last out of his no-hitter. It marked the fourth consecutive season the Giants will pitch a no-hitter. Kane, Lincecum, and Lincecum again last year. Is Kadire breaks his bat. Duffy charges. Duffy throws. 1 out.
That was a rough at bat right there for Michael Kadire. And he'll feel that one in his thumbs the rest of the night.
So here's Kurt Neuenhuis. You're right. That one is going to hurt. Neuenhuis, I don't know how he didn't get hit. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, I think it steam cleaned his uniform.
I think it did. On deck is Johnny Monell. It's 2-0 to Neuenhuis. 3-0.
Well, I think it's a good sign for a sinker ball when he's missing early in a ball game to miss down below the strike zone.
And the walk.
Well, slug your way to the Home Run Derby crown and master the free award-winning game millions are playing. Action-packed, insanely fun, and you can play it in Great American Ballpark. That's the home of the 2015 All-Star Game with the 2015 Home Run Derby participants. So download MLB.com Home Run Derby free on the App Store and Google Play.
He's got the belt.
He's feeling it. Got the rings, belt.
So he's the guy in charge of the belt, I guess.
Yep.
Breaking ball inside.
Yeah, I'd have to say that he enjoyed those championships.
Yeah, I think he did.
He's got his glove. He's ready.
Chopper. Heston's got it. Heston to Adrianza. And that's a double play. Posey, Pagan, Belt coming up.
back to the Giants game. Dwayne and Mike, I get to be good news, Amy, all game because all broadcasts are going to be reporting all-star reaction. We start with Buster Posey, who's stepping to the plate. He won the fan vote. This will be his third time as an all-star, guys. He said it is so humbling. It's such an honor to be voted in. Of course, he'll be starting behind the dish for the National League All-Star team. He also said he's so excited to watch Crawford and Panic in their first all-star appearance, guys.
Of course. That is good news, Amy. Three-time all-star selection as he bounces this one to the shortstop, Tejada, and Posey's retired. And that'll bring up Pagan.
Well, how good is it to be back in the Bay Area?
Just looks relaxing when you see that shot. It's just relaxing. Here's Pagan. Strike to Pagan, hitting .268. With Belt on deck. And that's pulled foul past Murphy.
Past our ball dude, Nathan Williams. There's Nathan.
This is from your old neck of the woods in San Luis Obispo.
So?
Little pop-up into right field for Granderson. 2 outs. So here's Belt.
This is firefighter tonight. And Nathan Williams is a fireman from San Luis Obispo. Giants honor our heroes.
Flores is going to throw out Belt by a step, and that'll end the inning. 6 pitches, all strikes. We will head to the 3rd inning. 0-0.
Bay Area is brought to you by Bay Area Mini.
No score here in the 3rd as Jonathan Neese is going to lead things off. And a strike to Neese. Neese is 5 for 26. So he can swing it a little bit.
Yeah, he can swing it a lot. And he's hitting in the 8th spot in the lineup. And I think when managers do that with a pitcher, hit him 8th, and basically create 2 leadoff hitters going into the top of the lineup, you have to have a pitcher that can swing the bat. and Nice is a qualifier. Terry Collins, the skipper of the Mets.
Well, I'm sure there's a formula that will fully explain why managers do this. And this is hit right at Arias.
Well, have you heard about Pence on the Fence? It's a true Giants fan must-have this Friday, July 10th, social media night right here at AT&T. Your special event package will include a game ticket to see the Giants take on the Phils and your very own Pence on the Fence doll. So go to sfgiants.com/special events.
So here's Juan Lagares. And by the way, when you get the memo on all the stats on why that works, pass it along, will you? It's to why that pitcher hits safe. Just pass it along. And all I'm looking for is a simple explanation. That's all. Duffy up, throwing, got him. Nice play.
Well, it is a great play. And right now it's time for our Togo's Big Play the Togo's Way. We go back to June 11th. We go to Matt Duffy making the play of the night. We'll make it our Togo's Big Play the Togo's Way. Spins very quickly to his feet, all the time in the world.
And here's Granderson. So 0-1 to Granderson. Granderson struck out in the first inning. There's a breaking ball to the back foot. One ball and one strike. Nope, outside, says Bill Miller, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Again with the changeup, and that's what you want that changeup to do. And he holds that changeup grip with a 2-seam grip. It will have movement that runs away from a left-handed hitter. The other thing, around the outside corner, let his movement fall off the plate. Out of the strike zone, I hope he chases.
So, for the second inning in a row, Heston will walk a Mets hitter, and here's Tejada. Tejada singled in the first inning. See what Granderson does. He's got 5 steals on the year. And a club that has a very hard time scoring. Sometimes a stolen base attempt here would not be that unusual.
Well, I think it should be automatic. You get a leadoff hitter get on with 2 outs. That's go time. Leadoff hitter should be able to steal a base in a base stealing situation.
1 ball and 1 strike. Tejada's single was a line drive over Duffy's head. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Perfect night for baseball here in the Bay. Absolutely stunning.
Granderson bluffed. No idea why Tejada took that pitch unless he thought Granderson was going. It's 1-2.
Or if he was looking breakable.
It does happen from time to time that when that base runner bluffs, sometimes the only guy you bluff is the hitter. One and 2. They don't go a lot, but they have been successful. 2-2.
You're right. I mean, if you're stealing 3 out of 4 bases, I would expect you'd want to steal a few more, especially when you're not scoring a lot of runs.
So Heston misses. It's now 3-2, and now Granderson will go.
Straight away in the outfield, straight away in the infield. I mean, that's as straight up on a defense as you're going to get these days.
Nobody's at first. And going down to second is Granderson, who's going to make it. Well, I haven't seen that one in a long time, I got to tell you.
Me either. And Belt shifts back. Now, that's one thing you have to know as a pitcher. You have to know what the defense is. I mean, that's something you communicate as a first baseman when you say, I'm going to play off the bag. That's something that Heston should know. So that's a big 90 feet.
Belt's going to go back and catch this, so it's not going to hurt Heston, and that's going to end the inning. Here's the play by Duffy. Up quickly. He got him again. Nothing ball game. And Maxwell takes a strike. So, Mike, I'm looking. So they gave Heston an error in the first inning?
They did.
Maxwell bounces it foul.
Back into a double play. And he got to the bag in time, and the ball hit his glove, and he dropped the ball, and they gave him an error. So 2 errors on the night for Heston. Don't see that very often, where a pitcher will get 2 errors.
No, and plus he's a really good fielding pitcher. 1-2 to Maxwell. Arias to follow. Down the right field line, slicing foul. Kansas City got rained out, and it's raining in Chicago. Pittsburgh got their game in as they beat San Diego. 1-2. Ooh, 2-2.
Yeah, and he's thought he had that little backdoor slider nibbling the outside corner only because he's had that pitch called a strike.
Hit well to right. Granderson in front of archway number 2 makes the catch. Here's McDonald's True Stories, July 6, 2010. Giants against Milwaukee. Madison Bumgarner recorded his first career win. In that game, he went 8 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. He threw 115 pitches, and the Giants won that ball game 6-1.
He looks a little different with short hair, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Here's Arias hitting at 173. Bounces this one slowly to Murphy. 2 outs.
I'm not sure where he made contact with the ball, but I think it was maybe an inch or 2 above the label. Mace really did a nice job of getting that cutter running in way up off the sweet spot. Take a look at the cut as it's working itself in towards the right-handed hitter. That did not feel good.
There's Heston in a swing. He ain't gonna miss. Heston 8 for 32. One ball and 1 strike. With Blanco on deck, no score.
I think as Heston goes on with his career, he and Madison Bumgarner are going to have a little competition as to who the best hitting pitcher is on this team. I don't know if he'll have the same power, but he's definitely going to put some hits up there on the board.
Towards the hole. And a base hit. Heston rolls one through the left side. Wasn't pretty, but effective.
Hey, it breaks up the no-hitter.
Hey, it doesn't have to be pretty.
A little change up, circle change with a 2-seam grip right off the end of the bat. Head stays down nice through the swing. That's a good hack. They had cheated with Ruben Tejada, the shortstop of the Mets, pulled way over towards second base. I mean, they gave him a hole, and he found it.
So here's Blanco. Blanco fouls it out of play. Blanco struck out in the first inning. On one hop to Kadire, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left. 0-0. But in one place, and that'll be in Cincinnati. Don't miss the 86th All-Star Game. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. Pacific, Tuesday, July 14th. That would be a week from tomorrow. We have firefighters all over the place tonight.
Giants are honoring our firefighters from the city of Sonora.
Here's Daniel Murphy.
Well, I mean, what's cooler than a fireman's hat? Are you serious?
No, I agree. Hit on the ground. Arias from the grass. Let's check in with Amy G. Good news, Amy.
Good news. Madison Bumgarner, for the third consecutive season, named to the All-Star team. I loved what he said, guys. He said it is so humbling to be going to the All-Star game when you walk into the Giants clubhouse and see the amount of talent that is in there. Now, Bruce Bochy said he's pretty sure Madison's going to vie for an attempt at that home run derby. He hasn't asked yet, but you know it's coming. Madison also saying looking very forward to playing with Crawford and Panic in their first All-Star game, guys.
It sounds like a theme, doesn't it? Happy for other people.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Congratulations to that kid. Have we watched him grow up? Yes, we have. Hit into center field for Pagan. Two outs, and here's Kadire.
You know, Bumgarner, he's made 2 All-Star teams. This is his 3rd one, and he's never pitched in one. So from that aspect of it, he's kind of a rookie. He hasn't pitched in any yet. I would imagine he's going to get one this year.
I think he wants to get an at bat. Kadire takes a strike. I think he wants to be in the home run derby.
Well, of course he does. He could take Bryce Harper's spot.
One ball and one strike. Kadire bounced out to Duffy in the second. Two and one.
Bryce Harper today said he was not going to take part in the home run derby.
Did he have a reason, or just said, I don't want to do it?
I don't know. I mean, I always assume a guy's got a couple of health issues that maybe he wants to not aggravate.
I mean, some organizations don't even like it.
I know a lot of hitters think it messes up their swing. But
it's one reason I wouldn't have done it.
He'd have been good.
Here's the 3-1 to Kadire. And it's 3-2.
But kids love it. I mean, it definitely catches their imagination. And I think baseball fans in general like it. And they're going to like it this year because Cincinnati, you're going to see a lot of home runs.
Another ground ball for Duffy, and he throws it down the right field line. And Kadire will go into second. So an error on Duffy.
3rd error of the night for the Giants.
And that'll bring up NYN.
It's going to have to be perfect, and as he goes sort of with a sidearm delivery, he throws a great sinker over to Brandon Belt. He really couldn't get it to the ball because of it would have been a collision with Kadire.
So here's NYN. And he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Hey, it's going to take a little while for Matt Duffy to get used to all of those different plays. And they're all different. I mean, this is hit on the ground, and Arias on the backhand, and that's going to end the inning. Duffy's going, all right, I feel better now. 0-0.
San Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
Well, log on to csnbayarea.com as insider Alex Pavlovich will provide wire-to-wire reporting of the Giants season, breaking news, video, special features, and much, much more, only on csnbayarea.com.
So here's Adrianza, followed by Duffy, and then Posey. Adrianza hit one that caromed off a Nice, and it went right to the second baseman, Flores. One ball and 2 strikes. A little looper. This is going to be foul. Kadire running out of room. No Lucas Duda. Doug Eddings just messed with that guy big time. The guy in the plaid shirt, it was his. Eddings took it. He flipped it in the seat.
Dude, that was my ball.
Broken bat ground ball. Here's our AT&T U-verse rewind. August 1st, 2014, in New York. And Duffy, his first career hit in RBI, and it came off of Jonathan Nice, who was a single in the 7th. It knocked in Hunter Pence, and the Giants ended up winning 5-1.
Well, that was the night he got himself a batting average.
Duffy takes low.
You saw those 2 guys that had the fireman's helmet on.
Big chopper into the hole. Tejada. Got him. Nice play.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, that is the play that defines a big league shortstop. I mean, and he went deep in the hole.
I didn't think they were going to throw Duffy out. Duffy runs pretty good.
Past Murphy. Backhanded. Now here is what a big league shortstop can do. He can reach back and he can put a little extra on it. And they just get him by about, the length of a shoe, maybe less.
So here's Buster Posey.
But a fireman's helmet, you can wear it with anything and pull it off. You can wear the tuxedo, it would look good.
Yeah. Up to middle. But Tejada cuts it off, and that'll end the inning. Another quick inning for Jonathan Nice. It remains 0-0.
Your Bartolo Colon bringing 9 wins into tomorrow's start, taking on Matt Cain, who will be making his second start of the year. And that's your Chevron pitching matchup.
So here's Johnny Monell to lead things off.
That'll be a lot of strikes in that ball game.
A lot of strikes in this one. Tapped slowly. Arias shoveling to Belt. And Monell is retired.
On one pitch to start an inning.
We watched Monell and Heston visit just a little bit before the game, which led us to believe that they were probably teammates somewhere along the minor league trail in the Giants organization. Neese hit a soft line drive to Arias. Here he takes a strike. Are you doing your research? Did I throw you under the bus on this?
No, they played together in 2012 and 2013. You know,
1 and 2.
It really is a small world. I mean, when you think about how you come up, college, minor leagues, winter ball, I mean, your paths are going to cross.
You're right, and you will develop relationships. And winter ball is another one, as you mentioned. Blanco's got a beat on this one, and he'll make the basket catch. Sometimes, Mike, your relationships with guys in winter ball can become stronger just because you're in another country and you spend more time together as a group away from the ballpark.
Well, you're right. I mean, Puerto Rico was a great league to play in because you didn't have any road trips. You could drive to any of the cities on the island and come back the same day. So because of that, a lot of the American players lived close to each other. And it became a really big deal around Christmas time when everybody stayed there and didn't go home.
Away from the target in a called strike.
And you develop friendships that last forever.
Reached out to Pagan, and a 1-2-3 inning in 8 pitches for Heston. Pagan's going to lead things off. The first 20,000 fans are going to receive a World Champions license plate courtesy of Good Neighbor Pharmacy. So get your tickets at sfgiants.com/tickets. Here's Pagan. Giants have had one base runner in this game, and it was a single by Heston. 2-0 to Pagan, who hit a fly ball to right in the second inning. Belt is on deck. And a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Where's the changeup? He's just a command specialist. I mean, he's never going to give in to you. He's going to work corners, give you different movements, speeds.
He's woody.
He's woody.
Slowly hit to short. Tejada. 1 out.
And a lot of ground balls to Ruben Tejada, the shortstop of the Mets tonight.
Yeah, including the last 3. So here's Belt. Belt hit the ball hard. He bounced out to Flores, the second baseman, in an overshift. They do not overshift here, however. One and 0 to Belt.
I just think what Neese has established so far in this ballgame, if you're going to take your at-bats against him, you have to think the opposite way. Go up there and try and pull this guy and hit him out of the ballpark. You're playing into his hand.
Hit right on the nose to Lagares in center, 2 outs.
Take a look at the out distribution. 10 ground outs, 3 fly outs, 1 strikeout. And that was a call strike 3 there to Gregor Blanco, which was a pitcher's pitch. So he's basically just pitching to contact. And there's how he's used his pitches tonight. 9 in the first, 6 in the second, 8 in the fourth. He's got 6 so far here with 2 outs in the 5th.
Maxwell drives it foul.
Maxwell's really had the best at bats.
Maxwell hit a ball in front of archway number 2 that was caught in the 3rd inning. Here he takes a bit wide, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Bill Miller was thinking about that one. I thought the way he was coming up, he was going to put the strike sign up.
1 and 2. Two outs here in the 5th. And that's going to do it. 6th inning coming up. 0-0. And it'll be the top of the order for the Mets. Granderson, Tejada, and Daniel Murphy. First pitch is wide. 1 ball and no strikes.
And the curveball, he hasn't really thrown for strikes, but it still is a speed away from his sinker. It still can have a purpose.
And the curveball was really effective against the Mets when Heston threw the no-hitter.
You're right, especially late in the game.
We've seen the dark beard. We haven't seen the orange one. There's a bouncing ball foul.
Ball dude picks it. Clyde Frelick. Nice going, Clyde.
The guy with the plaid shirt who had the umpire mess with him, Clyde recognized the whole deal.
Yeah, but Clyde, there's like 7 6-year-olds that could have had that ball.
Ooh, 2-2. Yeah, really. Had a big.
Had a bit.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Overshift is on now for Granderson. Ball back. Granderson looked like he was trying to poke that one down the third base line. Here's when the Mr. Plaid shirt got denied. I got it. I got it. No, you don't.
And it's not like he threw it to a kid. Boy, if I'm sitting in the stands. Wow.
Heston knocked that down with his pitching hand. And
he says he's okay.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that.
I mean, that's not something you think to do. It's just complete reaction. And if you hit you on a fingertip, that can be a problem.
Oh. So you rub up the baseball trying to get the feeling back.
And if it hits on the fingertips, it's not going to come back this inning. If it hits in the palm, you're fine. The way that it sounded when it hit his hand, I think it got more palm than finger.
I mean, don't you throw the first one up on the backstop?
Or a 4-hopper.
Adrianza to Belt. Check in with good news, Amy G.
All right, guys. So what did Brandon Crawford have to say after hearing he was an all-star for the first time in his career? He said he is very excited. He goes into every single season trying to put up numbers reflective of an all-star, and this season it actually happened in due in large part for his offensive efforts. Now, he did say that Bochy let him know last week he was going to make the team, but he said it was still really cool to see it on TV today. Guys?
Here's Murphy. Oh, I'm sure it was cool for both those guys.
Well, we were talking about it today, and he said, I think the coolest part about getting on this team is that I got voted in by the players, which that is big applause. Hey,
2-0 to Murphy.
You cannot sneak onto an all-star team.
I agree.
You earn your spot there. I mean, everybody there is deserving. Everybody.
This is tapped off of Murphy's foot. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Murphy didn't even say ouch.
No.
Take a soft step.
No.
Nothing.
Very tough.
Either that or he's got steel-toed shoes.
2 balls and 1 strike. Belt on the backhand. See what I got. Side retired. Arias, Heston, Blanco coming up.
is brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com and by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
Here it's 0-0 on a beautiful Monday night. Inside the Arias. It's good to be home. It is.
Yeah, it is.
Not that any of the places we go to are really bad places. It's good to be home.
Well, like Dorothy said, there's no place like home.
On the ground into the hole and off the glove of Tejada, and Arias has got a base hit. So, Dorothy.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. Little cutter, leaves it out over the middle. And Arias squares it up and finds himself a hole on the left side. The Giants, for the first time tonight, have a leadoff hitter on base.
And here's Heston. Heston with a good ball.
On one pitch. Feed that momentum.
It is momentum, absolutely. That's an Elvis sacrifice punt.
Thank you very much.
So last week we broke out Elvis. This week, unbelievable.
Had a memory of Rod Beck, one of the greatest Giants of all times.
Yeah. Blanco takes a strike. Blanco struck out and bounced out. Elvis and Dorothy, who would have ever thought?
I know. Big fans.
You know what? I bet they would have liked each other.
Well, I'm sure they crossed paths somewhere down the road. Straight away. Balls hit the center and right. You're going to see the Giants challenge. Do not have great arms in center or right. Arias, pretty good speed.
And Blanco's going to go around. So Blanco's retired. That's the third strikeout. Second time for Blanco. Blanco's had no luck against Nice. He's now 1 for 13.
Well, I think that the pitch that got called him out on a strike 3 in his first at bat really sets this one up, because Nice cut a strike on the inside corner. It really was a pitcher strike, but the rest of the night he's going to be aware of it. And I think that just burned him, the memory of that strikeout in the first.
So here's Adrianza, who's 0 for 2. Well, I'll tell you what, Tejada's really playing Adrianza in the hole. Well, no strike.
The way that Nice is going to throw movement at him, it's going to be cut that's going to work its way into it. So that's a pitch that he is probably going to pull it. And the Mets are cheating everybody in their infield to the pull side.
So it's 3-0.
I think it has everything to do with a hitter's swing type and a pitcher's style. Because, the Mets don't have a lot of book on Adrianza. Watch him take batting practice and watch Nice throw his stuff up there. You get a pretty good idea of what he's probably going to do if he makes contact. One thing, Adrianza does not inside out a lot of balls. He'll hook a cut fastball from a left-hander.
And the walk. Check out our cold hard fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Highest average is third baseman in the National League. You see Matt Duffy at 318. Escobar, Frazier, Bryant. The last two are headed to the All-Star game.
And the Mets are playing Duffy the same way. They're playing him to hook, and I think that's a mistake. He inside outs the ball as good as anybody in the Giants club. As good as Buster Posey, who was always been a guy that would take an inside cut from the lefty to right field. And I think the defense is going to really suggest to Duffy as to how to go about beating Neese.
I don't know if Monell got tossed up.
He did. The way that he gets handcuffed on this, and he was not expecting that pitch.
I mean, he did a good job knocking it down. So it's 1-1 to Giants third baseman Matt Duffy. 2 balls and 1 strike. With Buster Posey to follow.
3.01 average with runners in scoring position with 2 outs.
3-1.
One thing the Giants have done collectively this year is perform in this scenario. Runners in scoring position, 2 outs.
So Buster Posey is going to hit.
That is the last thing Mets skipper Terry Collins wanted to see. So, Dan Worthen, the pitching coach for the Mets, being sent out. That is the look of concern. Cannot defend a walk.
Posey's bounced out twice to Ruben Tejada, the Mets shortstop.
All right, time now for our Geico quote. This one comes from Buster Posey on his opportunity to be an All-Star. He said, "It's an honor and a special time with the other players we don't ordinarily get to spend time with. It's a fun couple of days and something that goes by quickly in my experience. I try to enjoy it."
So Arias at third, Adrianza at second, Duffy's at first, and Posey stands in. And we'll see if he goes after that first pitch. And he does, and he bounces it foul.
And he goes right with his bread and butter, the cut fastball. And Posey just did swing on the top of that pitch.
On the ground, that's a fair ball. Across the diamond in time, and that'll end the inning. We will head to the 7th. 0-0.
local Toyota dealer, and we're going to take a look at what has been the story tonight. We talk about pitching duels. Well, this has been one between Jonathan Neese and Chris Heston. 6 solid innings. Both pitchers have allowed 2 hits, a couple of walks. Neese with 3 strikeouts, Heston with 1. And in economy of pitches, Neese just 66 and Heston was 68. And that's our Toyota game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. No score as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Wilson Flores going to lead things off here for the Mets. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Had really one of the louder at-bats. He lined out in the first inning to Ere Adrianza, the Giant shortstop.
And the first pitch is inside for a ball. Kadire. And a strike. Kadire and then Nieuwenhuis. To right, and it's going to be a base hit.
And I think Wilmer Flores went up there with that in mind to go the opposite way. And I think both pitchers have sort of demanded that approach. And this is just a nice inside out. I'm going to right field swing. 2-seam fastball. You can see the 2 seams there. Got this ball up a little bit, but still a nice disciplined approach. Let that ball get into him deep. Throws it out to right.
Kadire 1 for 2. He dribbled one down the third base line and beat it out. He takes high, 1 ball and no strikes. Next pitch for Heston will be number 73.
Yeah, that's through 7 into the 7th inning. That pitch counts very low.
2 balls and no strikes. This is the first time in the game that the Mets have had their leadoff hitter on, which makes it a bit more stressful for Heston. He needs to throw a strike here. And this is popped up to Arias. 1 out. And back to changing pencils.
You've been doing that a lot lately.
I've been doing it a lot. The road trip is bad. I'm almost to the point of throwing out pencils.
So you're not recycling them, you're chunking them?
Yep. Well, I haven't done that yet.
You're thinking about it.
If they were wooden pencils, I would, but Nieuwenhuis has walked and he's bounced out. And he takes in tight for a ball, 1-0.
You did the wooden pitches for a couple of years.
I did. Well, we all followed Hank Greenwald. Hank had the wooden pencils, special kind. He loved the ones from the Westin in Houston.
Traveled with an automatic pencil sharpener.
2 balls and no strikes. Tomorrow's starter, Bartolo Colon. He's got a little gray in his hair. Foul back. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Ryan Howard hit a 3-run home run against the Dodgers. Phillies lead in that one 5-3. Still raining in Chicago. Three and 1.
And all of a sudden, he's missing up. That has not happened much tonight. And that is something that a pitching coach and a manager will take note of.
And the walk.
And that's a mistake to walk base runner into scoring position. It's especially something that hurts your club when it's a tie ball game. But the one thing about a sinker ball, and it's a great life for one reason, is you can load the bases, one out, and all of a sudden one pitch later a double play gets you out of the inning. And with the way that Heston puts the ball on the ground, I mean, that's always something that can happen. And that's what he's pitching for right now. And I think the message that Buster Posey took out to the mound when he visited him was get the ball down.
Outside to Johnny Monell. One ball and one strike.
Good changeup. I mean, I think that's the importance of being able to. You throw two types of fastball, a two-seam and a four-seam. You do the same thing with a changeup, and that changeup had the same rotation, the same look in the eye of the hitter that the fastball did.
One and two.
Posey calls another one. Changeup, changeup. Soft stuff sets up hard stuff. Wow. 90-mile-an-hour two-seam movement. And absolutely paints the outside corner. Perfect location.
First strikeout for Heston since the very first hitter of the game.
Yeah, he really needed this one. You can see the two-seam movement. It has a movement running away from the left-handed hitter. Very similar to the movement of that changeup. So, I mean, the way he used the fastball and the changeup there was really deceptive, and he had Monell way off balance.
Be careful with this guy. By the way, see who's pitching for the Dodgers? Eric Sirkin.
Our old pal?
Yep. One ball and no strikes to Jonathan Neese. Two and 0. Adrianza is going to go to Belt, and that's going to end the inning. They're gone. Belt and Maxwell coming up. the place. Here it's 0-0. As Pagan's going to lead things off. Pagan has hit a fly ball to right, and he's bounced out to short. Trying to get on for Belt. And the pitch, and it's a strike on the outside corner.
You're perfectly placed. Little cutter on that outside corner.
Well, I'm not sure Jordan Baker could see that. I mean, I think he got the call right. I mean,
he was just thinking dodgeball. I mean, he's a big guy. He's 6'8". He's the tallest umpire. Pagan not fooled by that slow. Look out, Jordan.
Popped him up. And making the catch is Flores. 1 out.
Yeah, Jordan Baker can laugh about it now. Let's take a look one more time. Well, he regrouped. Foul ball. Never touch me. And yes, I don't wear a cup.
One of the things that Mike makes sure he asks all the umpires before the game. And you never know when it might come in handy. There's a foul back, and tonight it did. Belt is 0 for 2. Now the overshift is Tejada moving to the right of second. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Mets really don't do a lot with their outfield. Most of their shifts come in their infield.
Belt is gone. Well, this Friday, July 10th is the third Orange Friday happy hour at AT&T Park, presented by Lagunitas Brewing Company. For tickets, visit sfgiants.com/special events. Here's Maxwell. Maxwell on the ground on one hop to Tejada. And that's going to end the inning. 7 pitches, all strikes. 8th inning coming up. 0-0. Also talk about the game with Murph and Mac tomorrow morning on KMBR 680. 0-0. I did the show for Mike this morning. He'll do it for me tomorrow.
Yes, I will.
Here's Juan Lagares.
And that's a mistake. And that's the last thing he wanted to do. If the pitcher hitting 8th ever created an opportunity that would justify hitting a pitcher 8th, this is it. When you can lead off that fast 9th place hitter, and in essence you have 2 leadoff hitters now. The 9th place hitter just gets on base, and now here comes the actual leadoff hitter. And that's why managers do that.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Because look who was hitting with runners in scoring position in the 7th.
I know. And you and I both feel the same way. We're not big proponents of it. But what just happened supports the philosophy as to why they do it. When you get that leadoff hitter, that 9th place hitter, to start an inning and get on base.
And a strike, and it's 0-1. Granderson is 0 for 2.
He's hit 9 guys. When he had the no-hitter against the Mets, he hit 3 that night. So that's now 4 with the Mets. And Lagares, he can steal a base. I would expect him to have a little movement here.
High and foul, and it's 0-2. Romo and Lopez.
One thing about Chris Heston is he is quick out of the stretch. And if you're a sinker baller, I mean, you're really helping yourself out by keeping runners at first base, holding them on well, and being quick out of the stretch is essential.
This is a long run for Blanco. He might not get there, and it's going to fall. And they got him at second. Unbelievable.
That is unbelievable.
And it took a perfect throw to force out Lagares at second. He must have been tagging.
I mean, you should be going halfway on this. I think you're right. He was going back to first. Now watch the throw from Blanco, who gets it on a 1-hop. A perfect seed to Arias. And watch the Lagares. I mean, he comes back to the bag like you think. I mean, he's going to tag. Well, that is a huge play. And a big break for the Giants.
Just your basic 7-4 fielder's choice is the hitter is Ruben Tejada. Now a perfect throw from Gregor Blanco. Down low, 1 ball and no strikes.
And a miss down below the zone when you're pitching for a ground ball.
Giants thought for sure that Granderson was going. Otherwise, you don't pitch out 1-0. Because now you put Heston really in spot. 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, Tejada had one of the best at-bats of the night against Heston back in the first inning. Clean line drive, the first hit the Mets had. And he's in the driver's seat, 2-0 here.
3-0.
Heston won on that strike.
That's going to do it. So Lopez is going to come in. Heston's going to depart with Mets runners at first and second. And it's time for a change. Then Speedy, oil change and auto service. Your oil change tune-up and brake expert. Giants post-game live. You get highlights, reaction, analysis. It's all coming up right after the game. So here's Murphy facing Lopez.
See the numbers for Javier Lopez. 42nd time he's come in. He's had a very solid first half. And the one thing the Giants relief pitchers have really done an outstanding job with is leave the inherited runners on base. And for Javier Lopez, he's inherited 37 runners and he's only allowed 5 to score.
Out of play, no balls and 1 strike.
Murphy turning around to Bill Miller, asking if that ball was a strike.
Down low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Granderson with good speed at second. No score in this game. This will be the 2nd inning in a row where the Mets have had an opportunity. Two balls and 1 strike. Murphy against Lopez, lifetime 1 for 10. Way outside, rolls away from Buster Posey.
Easy take there. They don't have a base to give. I know you see an open third, but 1 out, you got to pitch to him. So this becomes a big pitch for Javier Lopez. Murphy has hit into 8 double plays on the year. Over Flores on deck.
Flores watching, 3 balls and 1 strike. On the ground, Duffy. Duffy is going to go to first, and they got him. I'm trying to think Duffy couldn't get it out of his glove, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And the fact that they got one is a good thing.
I don't know as hard as that ball was hit if they're going to get Murphy anyway, but I agree with you. I just don't think he got a handle on it. He couldn't get into the glove with his hand. I mean, he double clutched, and Murphy could put some heat on the play. If he just does get him.
So we're going to get a double switch. Romo's coming in. It's 0-0.
"36th time that he's come into a game. For Romo, 36 strikeouts in 25 innings, which is fantastic. One of the best strikeout to inning ratios on this Giants club.
Ryan Lawless comes in on the double switch, so he's in left, and he will hit in the 9th spot. Blanco moves from left to right as Romo is facing Wilmer Flores here with 2 outs and runners at 2nd and 3rd. And a strike, and it's 0-1.
So Chris Heston tonight was fantastic. Gave his club 7 1/3. Heston did not travel with the club this morning. He was sent out a day early with Matt Cain. Get a good night's sleep.
Hit on the ground to Duffy. Duffy's got it, and that'll end the inning. Giants dodge a bullet in the 7th and again here in the 8th. Aris, Lawless, Blanco coming up. share the wonder, share the love at MontereyBayAquarium.org/love. Here's Arias. Usually don't like to announce what goes on in between innings, but somebody in this booth dial long distance. High drive into center field, a base hit.
Right now, that is long distance.
Check in with ABG.
All right, guys, hearing from the last All-Star, Joe Panik. Of course, he was selected. It's his first full season, quite an honor. He was a manager selection. Bruce Bochy making it known, though, that he very much earned this honor. Joe said that it's an honor to be part of this organization. It's an honor to be going. He can't wait to spend time with Buster Posey and Madison Bumgarner, but it's extra special to be going with his double play partner, Brandon Crawford. Something else extra special, guys, all 4 All-Stars, all homegrown. Pretty cool, guys.
Yeah, that's very cool. And we spoke to Joe Panik before the game and just made it known to him that he 100% deserves this. Here's Lawless. And this is going to be caught on the bunt.
Well, that hurts. And that is a frustrating walk back to the dugout. Manager was going to give up and out, try and move a runner up 90 feet, and you can't get it done.
A manager who doesn't like to give up outs on bunts.
Really got his knees bent. I mean, he does everything right technique-wise. I mean, this is what you're supposed to do. He just got under it and popped it up.
So here's Blanco. Blanco's 0 for 3. He's trying to figure out Jonathan Neese. And he's going to pop this one up. And catching it, backpedaling, is Kadire. 2 outs. So after the base hit by Arias, things have gone south, although this is a nice play by Kadire.
And he never really looked that comfortable on it at all, but fly balls, pop-ups for an outfielder, I mean, you're playing into his hands. So that was a good wrestling match that he won. Nice play.
So here's Adrianza. Adrianza on the ground, foul. I'll say this about Murphy, he's not afraid to play on the line.
Well, I think because of the cut fastball from Neese, the Mets are so used to seeing the 5.5 hole in the line get peppered by right-handed hitters. So they've been protected a lot tonight.
And the only time it really hurt Neese was the at-bat to Arias.
Now there's the 5.5 hole. And then you see, of course, the line being guarded. With Arias' speed, if Adrianza could hit one through a gap, he would score.
Very shallow and right is Granderson, but it's not going to matter. And that's going to end the inning. 8-pitch inning. 9th inning coming up. 0-0. Nothing as we go to the ninth. Is Romo's going to face Michael Kadire. Kadire's 1 for 3. Remember, Kadire had the walk-off base hit against Romo in the final game of that 3-game series in New York. Good pitch, 0-2.
This is a paint with a two-seam fastball on the outside corner. Santiago Garcia up and throwing. He's given a couple of days off on the road trip. All ready to go now.
And Kadire does it again as he reaches out and he strokes that slider into left field.
Well, Giants taking on the Mets tomorrow. Game 2 of this 3-game set. Bartolo Colon taking on Matt Cain. It's going to be Say Hey Tuesday. You see it at 7 o'clock pregame live at 6:30. You'll see it right here on CSN Bay Area. And Say Hey Tuesday back live from Willie Mays Plaza. The first 500 fans will get a cheer card and an authentic Giants fan scarf.
Here's Kurt Neuenhuis. And he bunts it foul, and it snowballs in 1 strike.
Well, the Mets trying to give up and out. Neuenhuis does not look like he spends a lot of time practicing the bunt skills.
He has walked twice in this game. Oh, 2. Johnny Monell is on deck. Just outside, 1-2.
That's a great 0-2 pitch.
That certainly made Neuenhuis think about it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it puckered him up a little bit, I'll tell you. And taking that one, not that far away from the strike zone. Posey suggested the slider, and that's movement that runs back into Neuenhuis. And Romo looked at it and backed off. So he wanted to think about that for a second. And he's changed it. There's the slider. So he's committed. He's ready to go now.
No swing. 2-2.
Going to throw that slider, but he's going to throw it down below the strike zone. Does he go? No. Good call.
Two and 2.
Now this becomes a huge pitch. You don't normally worry about base on balls with Romo. He has very, very good command. It's rare that he walks anybody.
Well, we'll see if Kadire is going to move on the pitch. He goes. And past Belt down the right field line. Kadire is going to be held up at third wisely. And that'll put runners at second and third with nobody out. And the hitter is going to be Johnny Monell.
Tried to challenge that strike zone, went out on the outside corner. And Noonweiss, who's a tall hitter, he just goes out and hooks it into right field. Giants had played him protecting the gap in right center, so it opened up some opportunity to run for a while. And Kadire, who's been having some knee problems, Giants put on a good relay, and right here, the Mets way anchor and hold him there at third. And I agree with you, if he'd have been waved through, he'd have been out. So Tim Tuffle, third base coach, making a wise decision.
So Romo's going to depart. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake expert. Nobody out, and here's Santiago Casilla.
36th time that he has come in, 4-2 with a 3.03 ERA. The numbers for Casilla as he enters his 36th game, 4-2 with a 3.03 ERA. Had a little arm fatigue on this road trip, and they shut him down for a couple days. Says he feels good, and it is a strikeout situation.
And Johnny Monell with a swing and a miss, and it's 0-1.
And that's a quickness on his curveball that we haven't seen in about a week. So the days off and the rest have definitely helped him out. You can see it on that first pitch. And he knows the deal. You've got to strike people out.
That's going to be out of play. Wallace will give chase. It's 0-2.
So Posey, like in the first curveball he saw, called it again. Now he's got to that 0-2. So if you're going to call a breaking ball here 0-2, you want to put it in the dirt. And the pressure becomes the catcher's pressure because of the ball going in the dirt. He's got to block this. If you throw a fastball, you can go up with it.
1-2.
But with an open base here, you really have the advantage as a pitcher because you can make him swing at your pitch. Now he's showing him 2 curveballs and a fastball. He can also strike you out with a cutter. 2-seam fastball on the outside part of the plate. He can throw a changeup, all of which he will do.
2-2. At third is Kadire. At second is Neuenhuis. And it's 3-2.
So 2 fastballs in a row up out of the plate. Pretty easy takes. But it does set up a 3-2 curveball. And remember what he got the first strike with in this at bat. It was a good curveball down and in that Monell swung over. So if you're going to throw it, it's your best shot to strike him out. And if you walk him, who cares? You got a pitcher on deck.
And that's a base hit to right field. 1 run scores as the ball gets by Blanco. It's 2-0 New York.
A little cutter down and in, and Monell just goes down and protects that zone beautifully. And you can see again Blanco is favoring the right center field gap. Once it gets by him, it's an easy score from first base or from second base rather, from Neuenhuis, the back runner. So the Mets drop blood here in the 9th inning.
So Lucas Duda is going to hit. And he fouls it back. So both hitters here in the 9th that Romo faced score. And that's down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Familia's down in the bullpen getting loose. 1-2. Three hits here to open up the 9th, giving the Mets a total of 6 on the evening. And Duda fouls it back. One ball and 2 strikes to Lucas Duda. Nobody out. Out of play again.
When we talk about the strikeout situation that Casilla had with a runner at third, less than 2 outs. Well, I mean, strikeout situation here too with a runner at second, nobody out.
On deck is Juan Lagares, the Mets center fielder. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he got him.
And the slump for Lucas Duda continues. He's now 9 for his last 66 with 26 strikeouts. He is just in a horrible slump. So he goes with a changeup or a 2-seam fastball. It just kind of tailed away from him, and he gets him to chase.
Here's Lagares, who's 0 for 2. No balls and 1 strike. Mets 2, Giants nothing here in the 9th inning.
Painting those corners. Nice little cutter, backed it up with a little backdoor sinker. I think that's the hardest thing about being a reliever. In a tie ball game, you give up a hit that allows your opponent to take the lead. You got to regroup and you got to get the next guy out. It's not always easy to do.
And a big swing by Lagares. For the Giants in the 9th inning, they'll have Duffy, Posey, and Pagan. Oh, and 2. This will be the 17th pitch coming up from Santiago Casilla. Up the middle, and a base hit. Monell's coming in. Is Casilla, instead of backing up, decided to be the cutoff man, and it's 3-0. So Bruce Bochy's coming out.
He's not going to leave his closer in there to have a long inning, especially after he's had a little arm weariness.
3 runs here for the Mets in the 9th. We'll be back. And the new pitcher for the Giants is Gene Machi.
Good numbers for Machi. Somebody got that ERA under 5, whittling it down. 30th time that he was coming this year. So he will inherit a runner at first and a 1-out situation.
So here's Granderson. Granderson is 0 for 3. And he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Bounces it foul. No balls, 2 strikes.
13 homers on the year for Granderson. He's not your prototypical leadoff hitter for a couple of reasons, but he's got power. But he will strike out.
Goes the other way, and he stays alive.
And you don't see a lot of leadoff hitters that have high strikeout totals. But if you look at the on-base percentage for Granderson, 349, that's fantastic. Not a manager in the big leagues who wouldn't take that. And as we mentioned, he's got power.
Out of play. Well, you can get an argument from a lot of managers when they tell you that maybe the most important stat for an individual player are runs scored.
Yeah. It says a lot about the guy if you're among the leaders on your team.
So Machi strikes out Granderson.
Good forkball. That's the pitch we saw him absolutely dominate with last year, especially the first half. Jerry's Familia, the closer, who's going to the All-Star game, I might add. He's a good one. Get loose. He will pitch the ninth.
Here's Tejada. Tejada's 1 for 3. And he takes a pitch high. 1 ball and no strikes. Phillies and Dodgers are tied 6-6. That game in the 6th inning, as this is hit to Adrianza, and that's going to end the inning. Damage done, however. Giants need 3 to tie and 4 to go home. Right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Ahmed Fareed and Dave Feldman will be your hosts. 3-0 New York, bottom of the 9th. This is it for the Giants. And it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, the Oil Change Cleanup and Brake Expert.
Take a look at the numbers for Jerry's Familia. 37th time that he has come in. What a first half he's had. 22 saves out of 24 opportunities. 2-0 with a 1.16 ERA. A little over a strikeout, and then you're going to see mid to high 90s with the fastball, and it's got big time sink to it. Hard slider and a straight changeup.
You saw Lucas Duda at first. There's a 97-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. Line drive right at Duda. 1 out.
Yeah, good at bat. It's kind of been that night offensively for the Giants. Every time they do hit a line drive, it has found a glove. Let's take a look at Jerry's Familia and how he uses his stuff. You're going to see a lot of fastballs, and why not with the type of sink that he has. And a hard slider. He has a splitter, but he throws it 2 times every 100 pitches. You don't really concern yourself with. You're looking gas, you're looking sink, and that's how you hit this guy.
First pitch strike to Buster Posey. Buster tonight has bounced out 3 times. (0-2).
So a little cut slider to open up the at-bat, then he comes right above your hands with a bore-in 97-mile-an-hour fastball. It's good stuff. He's earned the right to be a National League All-Star.
Swings and fouls it out of play.
Rally cap. It's time.
Just got a piece as it hits off the shin guard of Monell. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Oh, 2. Little fly ball to right that Granderson's going to put away. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Pagan. So here's Angel Pagan, who's 0 for 3. And Familia throws, and Pagan takes way inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Matt Cain tomorrow night. And then Jake Peavy on Wednesday afternoon. Day game on Wednesday. And the 1-0. And Pagan lifts it foul down the left field line and out of play.
That's just big time velocity and sink. Familia, big guy, 6'3", 250. In his 3rd year. I mean, he's still a baby. 25 years old. Came up through the Mets system. Kind of became a closer out of necessity this year.
Well, a quick pitch, and it's 1-2.
Quick pitch, and then he throws 98-mile-an-hour sinker at you.
Two and 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. And he got him, and that's the ball game. So game 1 in this series, it goes to the Mets, and the losing streak continues for the Giants. They've now lost 7 straight, and tonight this was a good start by Heston and no hitting.
Well, you're right, and you know, you like to say, well, there's an excuse for it because of the travel, but look, Jonathan Neese, the pitcher for the Mets tonight, was fantastic. It was a pitching duel, and you credit the Mets. They punched through on that scoreboard in the 9th, and that was the difference.
Final score here at AT&T Park: the Mets 3, the Giants 0. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. Eastern's Giants postgame live with interviews in the wrap. That starts right now.